Hey everyone, thanks for visiting. I know that it's been a while. It's been, 3 or 4 weeks since I've put a video out. Summer's here and it's getting a little busy in life, as I'm sure all of you are experiencing as well. I decided to take a little break from cutting the grass. This week is the first time I've had a chance to cut the grass. And of course, it's the hottest week here in North Carolina in the 90s. And I was noticing that while I was cutting the grass in this 90-degree weather, that I still wasn't uncomfortable, and noticed that there was a really cool breeze blowing, and it felt so good. And I thought, what perfect timing for that cool breeze to come around, but during one of the hottest weeks and while I'm out cutting grass. And it made me think about other times in my life where things seem to happen at just the perfect time. We recently had our yard graded, and even though it's end of May, not the perfect time to plant grass seed, we decided we'd take a chance. All we had to lose was the money that we put out in the grass seed. Forecast wasn't calling for any rain, so we put the grass seed out, put the straw on top of the grass seed, and we've had a nice little shower every afternoon just about since then. So the grass is coming up really nice and green. And again, perfect timing for that rain to come about, even though it's the end of the grass growing season or the grass sowing season. My sister-in-law has been wanting a puppy. She's been wanting a Chihuahua Dachshund mix, and she's always wanted to name her dog Lucy. So Lucy's a name that she's had in her mind for a little dog for years. And somebody just happened to have Chiweenie puppies, and when they brought it to her, they had already named the puppy Lucy. Didn't know that she had wanted to name the puppy Lucy. They had just named it. So again, perfect timing, like it was meant to be. But then there's an awful lot of times in life where the timing couldn't be worse. This is bad timing. Why did this have to happen now? But when you really think about it, we don't control anything that happens to us in life. Timing has nothing to do with it. Life gives us what we need when it feels we're ready for it. And that goes with everything that happens to us in life. Everything happens in its own time. And I kept saying this, everything happens in its own time. Where have I heard that before? So of course I got on Google and looked for it, and it just so happens to be a poem in the Bible, Ecclesiastes, and it says, "There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens. A time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to uproot, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to tear down and a time to build, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to scatter stones and a time to gather them, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to search and a time to give up, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to mend, a time to be silent and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace." And it got me to thinking about how our children will come back into our life when life is ready for them to come back into our life. And many of you may also be able to see that our children were removed from our life when life felt that we needed for them to be removed. I will expound on why I feel that way about my situation in another video. But I wanted to give you, well, goodness, I wanted to give you something to think about. Every time you find yourself saying, the timing couldn't be better, or this is the perfect time, or this is the worst time for this to happen, could you see it that life is giving you exactly what you need at that time, is giving you the experience that you need right at that moment, and that our job is to respond to that situation and to still find the peace and the joy in our life despite those negative, dark times that life gives us, because there is a lesson to be learned. I feel very strongly about that. And no, my daughter is not back in my life at this point in time, but I know that life knows when the time will be right, and I will continue to be hopeful for tomorrow. I hope that's given you maybe an alternate thought process as we go through this, waiting for our children to come back. Give me your opinions on that. How do you feel about that thought process, that insight into why things happen to us the way that they do? Something to think about. And until the next time, I hope you all make it your best week. Choose to be happy. Choose to find the peace and joy in your life. Bye, everyone.